Hey, my friends, I'm really excited about this episode. It's just me and you and you and me, but I'm getting to talk about relationships. Now, it's not everything, and it is a lot, and it might feel like drinking from a fire hose, but I want you to take a pen and a piece of paper, and I want you to grab the nugget that actually makes a difference for you. I am truly invested in you building the kind of relationships that will make your leadership world, so listen up. This is the Arable Leader Podcast. I'm Karl Martin, and we're exploring true, brave, kind, curious leadership, leading from your soul. Hey friends, welcome to the Arable Leader Podcast. I'm Karl Martin, as always, and today I want to spend some time talking about relational capital. It might just be the most important conversation that we have in a while, because as you know, I think that relational capital is one of the two most important capitals that you can invest in. And I guess that almost everyone listening to this knows that. They know that it's right up there as the most important thing, but and we know that the quality of our relationships and the type of our relationships is going to make our leadership world. And that almost nobody on their deathbed, if I can be as morbid as this, says, I just wish I'd made more money, or I wish I'd spent more time at work, or I wish I'd read 100 more books. But many people say and think, I wish I'd invested more time in the people that I love, the people that I care for. I wish I'd helped develop the people who will be left behind. And here's the thing. We rarely, in the guts of our lives, take account of what we know in our dying moments and bring that into our living ones. We rarely go, oh, because of that, we need to do this. And so I hope that this podcast will just be a little bit of a catalyst, maybe even a provocation for you to think differently. And therefore for us, because I'm involved in this as well, for us to act differently in the investments into our capitals. This is big. And it's one thing to think about it. It's a whole other thing to actually act on it. So if you're going to think about an investment in your relational capital in 2025, and by the way, there's never a better time to start than right now, I think you need a bigger vision. You need a vision that is bigger and longer and deeper than the one you currently have. A vision that is less about what might I achieve, although that's important, and more about what will my life mean? What impact will I have? What do I desire to actually leave beyond just cash money? Or even what will my grandchildren be talking about when I am dead and gone, when they reference me? What will my life amount to? And the moment you have that kind of conversation, you begin to come to a realization, I think, that everything is relational. It's all about the impact you have in the people that have come around your life. It's all about the impact they have on you. In fact, the impact of your leadership journey will be about the people that come around your life. Jim Rohn once said that you are the sum of the 5 people closest to you. And I think he's like 50% right and 50% wrong. He's right about the impact of people. I think he's wrong about the amount. I think we are the sum of all the people that we allow access to our life and the volume that we give them into our leadership world. I think one of the most, if not the most invidious of the isms that has impacted our world over the last 100 years, certainly from the moment of enlightenment, is individualism, which seems like it's pretty harmless, right? In fact, it seems pretty attractive to be an individual, to own my own life, to have a freedom to express, a freedom to be, but it also robs us of community if we're not careful. It robs us of the contingent nature of the relationships in our lives. It robs us of family even. And if we're not careful, we become little islands of not just isolation, but of loneliness. I did it my way is all well and good, but what if we did it our way is actually a much more powerful phrase and a much more powerful statement. There is no such thing as an individual. There is just a team. Ask a singular sports person if they have a team and if they need a team. Ask a sole trader in business if they have a team and they need a team. And you will find that behind the scenes, there are many people making that individual thing happen. And so if everything is team and everything is family, your leadership is team and family as well. Your life is team and family. And so what I'm encouraging you to do is prioritize this investment. I want you to think strategically and tactically and in a visionary way about the people that you allow into your life and the people that you enable to speak into your life and investing in them. You see, if your relational world is continually just the scrapings and the scraps left over from your financial world, your physical world, your intellectual world, then you will never be not just the leader that you want to be, but the person that you want to be, and you won't have the impact that you desire to have. So how do you do this? Huge question. And the answer is I don't know, but I know some starting points. I know some questions to ask. I know some thoughts to get you on the journey. The first thought is you have to make space. If you don't intentionally make space for people, then your relational world will be crowded out by the obsessive cries of your financial world and your intellectual and your physical world. If you don't put relationships first, they will end up being last. So who do you love? Who do you want to love? Who are you investing in? Who do you believe in? And how are you making space for these people? There was a man called Chapman who wrote a book called The 5 Love Languages that was pretty popular a few years ago, and I think it was pretty brilliant, actually. It helped frame 5 different desires and characteristics, 5 different ways of viewing relationships, which have really helped me and my wife Nikki as we navigate our 31 years of marriage. I think they are physical touch, gifts, quality time, acts of service, and words of affirmation. Now, clearly, if you can handle all those things, you're going to have an amazing relationship. But his view was that we have a predisposition to 1 or 2 of those areas. And of course, my relationship's quite challenging because I'm definitely physical touch and gifts. So that, I reckon that's quite easy, you know. Touch me and give me things, right? My wife, Nikki, has the 2 worst love languages. Acts of service and quality time, which basically means I have to do things for her that take a lot of time, energy, and effort to do. It kind of sucks, but knowing it is really helpful in our relationship. My point is this, that whatever your love language is, the access to that love language is attention. I pay attention to her. I pay attention to her needs. I pay attention to you. I pay attention to your development. And then, of course, it's more subtle because I begin to know you and I begin to work out how to access those parts of you which are most important to you. It's all about attention. So how are you paying attention to the people in your relational world? I just had a conversation this week with a CEO that I coach. And the conversation was, do you really know your C-suite team? You know, blanket affirmations and blanket encouragement is not particularly effective, but specific affirmations and specific encouragement and specific time spent in areas that they really value is going to make a huge difference in your ability to lead your team. So how do you make space? Well, I think you need to cheat and you need to choose. But by cheating, I mean you have to have breakfast, so why don't you have breakfast with someone? You are preparing a keynote, so why don't you prepare a keynote with someone? You are traveling, so why do you need to travel alone? You are having lunch, so why don't you have lunch with someone that you're trying to develop? Cheat on your time and cheat on your grace and allow people proximity to your leadership life, and you will build the kind of relationships that will make a difference. And then choose. I guess if you've been following leadership trends for a while and you've been reading leadership books, you'll have come across a book called Boundaries by Henry Cloud. And I think it's a brilliant book. And I think for the most part, leaders that I coach have begun to embrace the need to have boundaries, that the boundaries is kindness and making sure that you boundary your life. And I want to take that a little step further and talk about boundaries and accesses. Talk about walls and gates. Those of you who've read my book, The Cave, the Road, the Table, and the Fire, will know that I talk about a city wall and city gates. And I want you just for a moment to imagine your relational life like an ancient city. Stay with me. The walls around the ancient city are placed there to keep your enemies out. Your enemies are not your friends. Actually, and the word enemy from the Latin imicus actually means not your friend. And so you don't allow people who are against your life and against your leadership life access to your relational world at all, if you can possibly allow it. You have to keep people bounded and keep people out who want to suck the life out of you, want to prevent you growing, want to keep you in your space. But once you've worked out who your enemies are, and by the way, they're not that many who are actually out to get you, there are maybe one or two, you access your city, and the first place you come to is the marketplace. The marketplace is for your transactional friends, your contractual friends. These are not covenantal friends. You go to them to get good things. They come to you to get good things. And there's a contract that is made about the relationship that you have. You are careful what you share of your inner world and your relational world with them, because at this moment in time you can't trust them, you don't know them, and you boundary your life. They are your friends, but they are your transactional friends. As you go through the city, the next gate you come to is the gate to the castle courts. As you walk into the castle courts, these are your people. These are people who get you, they understand you, they're for you, they dream with you, they mourn with you. These people are your people. They're the people you build your business with. They're the people you have around to your house. They're the people you open your life to and share food with. They are the people you break bread with, because these are covenantal friends. These are people who are with you for keeps. And now come with me to one stage deeper and one stage further. Inside the castle is something called the castle keep. This is the stronghold. Inside that castle keep are your Kimbrogi. That word Kimbrogi is the Celtic word which actually means and translates to sword companions of the heart. These are your intimates. These people are for you whatever comes and whatever may. They love you when you lose your way. They love you when you lose your faith. They love you when you lose your head. You cannot get rid of these people. These people are for your wildest dreams and your greatest heresies. These people are your people for life. Now, here's the thing. If you have more than 6 people in your inner court, in your castle keep, then you have no one. The exercise of the city walls is an exercise in calling people up. There are some people who you put in the marketplace who actually have shown themselves to be loyal and might be your close friends. Welcome them in, open your table, break bread with them, get to know them and understand them, make space for them. There are people in your castle keep, in your innermost court, who have abused the trust that you have, who have not shown themselves to be trusted. You need to kick them out and put them probably for a season into the marketplace. The point is, make an inventory of your friendship, because these people will make or break your leadership world. Everything is relational. One of the challenges that I've always had in my leadership life is I'm way too trusting and way too relational, and I give of myself way too quickly. And that sounds like, a humble brag, but the reality is it's damaged my life over many years, because I imply the castle keep when I mean the castle courts. I imply the castle courts when I mean the marketplace. And people therefore assume a relationship with me that I probably haven't got. And I find myself mired in too many voices, too many opinions, too many relationships, unable to keep my word. And so this ancient city walls has helped me massively. Whatever you take out of this, I want you to know this. Your ability to invest in your relationships, your ability to build the kind of relationships that make you stronger, your ability to pour yourself into people, your ability to ask yourself bigger questions about what you mean and what you want to leave will make or break your leadership life. All the best leaders inventory their relationships, invest heavily here, take their money, take their intellect, take their time and their physicality to build the kind of relationships that make a difference in the world.
You've been watching The Arable Leader with Karl Martin. Subscribe for more episodes with great leaders. And you can also listen to The Arable Leader wherever you get your podcasts. For more resources for leading in a healthy way, visit arableco.com and check out Karl's new book, The Cave, the Road, the Table, and the Fire.